Everyone chose an ordinary spouse, but the human chose the wildest alien. Beginning the choosing ceremony. In the 28th century, interspecies relations weren't just accepted, they were celebrated. The Galactic Union, a coalition of over 90 intelligent civilizations, had turned marriage into a diplomatic art. Every decade, the Union held an event known as the choosing ceremony, where young adults from different species met to forge interplanetary bonds through marriage. The year was 2789, and Earth had finally earned a seat among the elder races. Humanity had risen from its blue cradle and reached the stars, but it was still considered the young species. Curious, emotional, unpredictable. Representing Earth at the ceremony was Captain Leon Mercer, a 32-year-old human diplomat, known for his steady temperament and sharp mind. He had fought pirates on the asteroid belts, negotiated with gas-breathing Zolarians, and once survived a plasma storm in the rings of Dion. Yet, none of that prepared him for this. The ceremony was held on Varelian Prime, a planet-sized space station orbiting a binary star system. Its halls shimmer with light from 1,000 cultures, each participant draped in their native colors. Each trying made a connection that would change the fate of worlds. As tradition dictated, every representative was to select a potential mate from among the alien attendees. Political unions were common. Marriages were not for love, but for alliance, genetics, and science. Leon walked to the Great Hall, where potential partners from across the galaxy stood in clusters. Some were humanoid, some crystalline. Others resembled floating ribbons of light. The Trilarians, a proud amphibious race, offered their princes and princesses. The Kelnari, tall beings with translucent skin and eyes like sapphires, watched him curiously. All around him, matches were being made. Humans from the delegation were pairing with safer choices, being similar in biology, temperament, and custom. But then Leon saw her. She was nothing like the others. A lone figure stood at the far end of the hall, half hidden in shadow. Her skin shimmered in waves of silver and obsidian. Her eyes glowed faintly like twin nebulae. Her body was humanoid but constantly shifting, as if her molecules hadn't decided what form to take. Her presence made the air hum, a faint vibration that brushed against the skin like static. An Ilarian. The Ilarian were infamous, called the Wild Race. Their society had no hierarchy, no laws, no predictability. They were shapeshifters from the far reaches of the Andromeda colonies, known for living in chaotic jungles of energy storms. Few ever left their world, and those who did often couldn't adapt to structured civilization. Leon felt every instinct in him shout no, but his curiosity whispered yes. He approached her. "You're far from home," he said carefully. She tilted her head, her form rippling between solid and mist. "So are you human?" Her voice was melodic, shifting tones like a song without rhythm. "I'm Leon Mercer, Earth's representative. I am called Verical, though my name has no true sound in your language," she replied. "You look at me without fear. That is unusual." "I've seen stranger things," Leon said with a small grin. She smiled, or at least the closest her shifting features came to it. "Have you? You might reconsider that soon." By the end of the night, while others chose safe, humanoid partners, Leon made the most scandalous choice in the room. He walked in front of the Great Hall and declared, "I choose Verical of Ilaria." A silence fell across the chamber. The ambassador stared, murmuring. The Ilarian delegation exchanged glances, half impressed, half pitying. The officiator, a six-eyed being of light, blinked slowly. "Are you certain, Captain Mercer? The Ilarian bond is not for the faint-hearted." Leon looked at Vera, who simply gazed back with unreadable eyes. "I'm certain," he said. And thus began the strangest union the Galactic Union had ever witnessed. Middle, the Wild Union. The first year of their union was chaos. Leon had been stationed on the joint diplomatic station Orion 9, where humans and Ilarian representatives were to live together and demonstrate intercultural harmony. What he got instead was an alien whirlwind. Vera had no concept of walls, privacy, or schedules. She would phase through walls, rearrange the furniture into geometric spirals, and communicate with the ship's AI through pulses of raw energy. When he slept, she would watch the stars outside for hours, her body merging slightly with the transparent dome, her form glowing with galactic light. One morning, Leon found that his coffee machine had turned into a small, living creature. "Vera," he groaned. "What did you do?" "It was bored," she said simply. "It's a machine. Machines don't get bored." She touched his forehead, her hand shifting between solid and soft plasma. "Neither do I. Yet I change." He sighed, exasperated. Yet beneath his frustration, he felt something, fascination, wonder. The more time he spent with her, the more he realized she wasn't chaotic without reason. She was curious about emotion, stability, mortality. Once she asked him, "Why do humans sleep? Why surrender your mind to darkness?" He replied, "Because we need rest. Our minds need time to dream." She paused. "Dreams. That's what you call your chaos. I like that." Days turned into months. The other delegates whispered that the human had lost his mind. Marrying an Alarian was considered reckless. No one had ever managed to sustain such a bond. But Leon and Vera began to understand each other. He taught her structure, how to plan, to build, to focus. She taught him freedom, how to feel beyond logic, how to see patterns in disorder. And somewhere between their lessons, they fell in love. Not the love of humans or the binding energy of Alarian kind, but something entirely new, something that transcended biology. Yet, not everyone was pleased. The Trilarian Council, allied with Earth, accused Leon of endangering diplomatic relations. "You've chosen an unstable being," they warned. "The Alarian are unpredictable. If she loses control, she could destroy the station." Leon refused to abandon her. "She's not dangerous," he said. "She's different." But danger arrived anyway. One night, a galactic storm hit Orion 9. The station's shields failed, its power cores flickering. The storm wasn't just plasma. It was conscious energy, a phenomenon known as the wild pulse, believed to originate from Alarian space. Vera's body began reacting violently. Her form fluctuated uncontrollably, her voice turning into static. "Leon," she gasped, "it's calling to me, the storm. It's part of us." "You have to fight it," he shouted, gripping her hands as the walls around them rippled. "I can't. It wants to merge." Suddenly, her body dissolved into light, streaming toward the storm. Leon ran after her through collapsing corridors, ignoring the alarms. The AI screamed warnings about containment breach and molecular destabilization, but he didn't stop. He found her at the edge of the observation dome, her body a vortex of light. "Vera, don't go," he yelled. She turned, her form fracturing. "It's too strong. If I don't merge, it will destroy the station. Then we'll face it together." He reached out, and against all odds, she stabilized, her energy wrapped around him like ribbons of light. For a brief moment, human and Alarian merged, not physically, but at the level of consciousness. Leon felt everything. Her memories, her world, the storms of Alaria, the singing jungles, the chaos that was never chaos, but a kind of living harmony. He saw her fear, not of destruction, but of being misunderstood, of being alone among order-loving species. And she saw him, not as a human diplomat, but as a fragile creature willing to risk everything for her. Together, they redirected the wild pulse through the station's conduits and expelled it back into space. The storm faded. The lights returned. The station survived. But Vera collapsed. Her form dimmed, fading to transparency. "Vera, stay with me," Leon whispered. "I held back the storm, but it took too much of me," she said weakly. "Promise me. You'll remember the chaos isn't your enemy." "Don't talk like that," he pleaded. She smiled faintly. Humans, always so afraid of endings. And then she dissolved into light, gone, leaving only a faint shimmer in the air. Ending, the legacy of the wild choice. Leon was never the same. Months passed, and the Galactic Union declared him a hero for saving the station. But the official report said nothing of love, nothing of Vera. To most, she was just a casualty, a wild alien who couldn't survive structured life. Leon, however, kept searching. He studied Alarian energy patterns, scanned the remnants of the storm, and spent nights staring into the nebula where the wild pulse had vanished. Then, one night, the station's lights flickered and a familiar hum filled the air. "Leon," he froze. The voice wasn't from the speakers. It was inside him, resonating with his neural implant. "Vera." Her voice was faint but real. "I'm not gone. I became part of the storm, part of the energy between worlds. I can't return as I was, but I'm here." He felt warmth spread through his chest, a pulse of energy that matched his heartbeat. "Do you regret choosing me?" she asked softly. He smiled. "Never. Everyone else chose what was safe, what was ordinary. I chose you, and through you, I found the wildest truth of all." "What truth?" "That love doesn't need order. It just needs connection." For years afterward, Leon became the first ambassador to bridge the structured civilizations and chaotic Alarian currents. His writings, The Harmony of Chaos, became a cornerstone of galactic philosophy. But on quiet nights, when the stars shimmered just right, witnesses claimed to see a faint silver light beside him, shifting, laughing, humming in resonance with the cosmos. They called her the Wild Bride. guardian of the storm. And in every generation's choosing ceremony that followed, one human stood and remembered their story. The day a man chose not the ordinary, but the extraordinary. Because sometimes the wildest hearts are the ones that make the universe whole.